So, who are we drawing today, or what? Well, that's a good question. Is this a who or a what? I think it's a what. It's the Grinch. That green Dr Seuss character, who we all absolutely love. So we are going to get started with his nose, and his nose is going to be like literally the letter C with maybe just a little scribble through it and a little line below it and a little line above it. Okay, now he's looking quite mean, so we're going to do a line like this and a line like this, and then we're going to bring those lines up. Okay, bring those lines up. We've got a few little pieces coming off the ends of those lines. Are they eyelashes? I'm not too sure. And then we bring it around and up and around and up. And there's his eyes. Okay, something like that. Now, Dr. Seuss' eyes, what makes it very Dr. Seussy is they are this kind of horseshoe shape. So we're just going to do something like that. And then we're going to fill it in. And these are very distinct to Dr. Seuss. If these pupils were a different shape, it wouldn't look anything like the Grinch. I'm just going to darken the top of this line a little bit, just to make him look meaner. Right. So, side of his head. So we're going to do something like this. Now the thing about Dr. Seuss characters is they're very furry. So we're going to be doing lots of lines of hair and things on this later on, but not just at the moment. So we're going to bring that around a little bit, something like that. And then we're going to do another bit like that. And then right on top, we're going to have these kind of funny little quiffs that do something like that. Okay, right at the top of his head. Right, eyebrows. We are going to go like this, and then bring those down like that. And then we're going to go up like that. Okay. Now what's going to make him very Grinchy is his mouth. But before we get the mouth in, we need to get the edge of his face in. And that's going to come around and do something like this. Okay. So note, I'm not being too definite with my lines. They're a little bit sketchy. So we're going to do his sort of cheek mark here and a cheek mark here. And then this very, very cunning grin all the way across like that. A little line there and a little line underneath like that. Okay. Now later on, like I said, we're going to be doing a lot more fur and hair on this character. But for now, we're just going to leave it like that. We're going to save the fur and the hair for once we've done the colouring in. We'll do it on top of the colour. Now he's got a long neck. He's also putting his arm up to his chin. So we'll do the neck like that. We'll get his shoulders in there. But this side, we're going to have an arm. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a little shape in here that goes down like that. We have another shape that does that underneath. and then that's his arm. So we're going to bring that down to about there. Okay. So you might need to pause this to work out what we're doing. We've got a finger here. We've got another finger here. We've got another finger here. We've got another finger here. So he's leaning on his arm. Okay. So then we bring this one back down to his elbow. And then it goes around and it's level with that shoulder there. Okay, so he's leaning up on his hand. We're going to come down here with this arm, bring it around, bring it underneath this arm, then he's kind of spreading his fingers out here in a slightly, oh, look at that. Bring it around like that. There we go. It's got a bit of a tummy going on, so we'll do this kind of shape under here. And then like that. Smooth that up a bit. We've got one leg coming down like this and up. And this one comes down and then goes up, and there's his heel. Comes down. This one goes behind like that. And there's his heel. And there's his weird feet. Not quite sure what's going on with those. Something like that. Now that's the drawing of the Grinch, okay? But as you know, we've got two things to do. We've got the colour, and then we've got all the hair, okay? So we'll get the colour done first. All right, can't quite see the top of it, can you there? Never mind. So we're going to use a kind of pale green colour. There's just two colours actually. There's the pale green and there's the yellow. So let's quickly get his eyes done now. And then when I'm working with the green, we can speed things up. And then I'll just have a little chat with you again about the hair, and then we'll speed things up again with the magic of the speed up button. Okay, so there's his eyes, nice and simple. Okay, so green pen, we're going to colour in everything, and let's get ready to speed up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So there he is, coloured in. Here's my Sharpie. Now the next phase is all about hair, okay? And Dr Seuss characters, although apparently, this might sound absolutely ridiculous, apparently Dr Seuss is pronounced Dr Seuss. His name actually rhymes with sauce, so it's Dr Seuss. But I don't know about that. That seems slightly crazy to me, but you never know. So what we're doing is we're building up lots and lots of lines to, not only are these the fur and the hair, but these lines are also part of the shading, okay? Now, when I've done this workshop in class before, some children get very, very random with these lines, and they start doing them literally all over the place. So for example, we're not going to do any on his face here. We're going to give him a few hair follicles. Okay. What we tend to do with these lines is we tend to do them near the edges of things. Okay. This kind of thing. And we're going to go over and we're going to get the entire Grinch done like this. And it's just going to make him look much more Grinchy. Much more Grinchy. Okay, so it's probably a good idea to give it a bit of a speed up now, but you can kind of get the idea. We're just adding basically little lines around the edge of him, a few hairs sticking out here and there, and this adds. It's basically like shading, I guess. And most Dr Seuss characters have this kind of thing going on. Okay, so let's speed up again.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.